Yo, what's up movie people? I hope you're doing well. This is me, my video of all the Fast and Furious movies ranked all the way up to Fast X. I won't talk about any spoilers about Fast X, so don't worry about it. Make sure to leave a like, it helps out a lot, but let's get to the ranking. Alright, so this ranking, I'm going to go by pretty fast, not talk about each one too much, because they're kind of like, I don't remember a lot from these movies, because they're all so silly, but I still wanted to rank them, so this is going to be a pretty short video. But in 11th place, I got Fast and Furious. Don't get this confused. This is not the first one. This is like the new rebooted Fast and Furious movie. I found this one to be quite boring. And in a lot of spots, it's so weird because I think this one is the one with the amnesia plot with Letty's character. And it's like so dumb. And the ending and opening I thought were like pretty cool in my opinion. But overall, I find this one to be really dumb and really boring in lots of places. Like, the first half is like really boring in this one, so that's my opinion on that one. 10th place, I got Tokyo Drift. I like the soundtrack a lot in this one, and I like Han a lot. Han is like one of my favorite characters in these movies, and I really did like the setting being in Tokyo. That was really cool. The main character, though, is not really the best character you could have put in this to have being the main character, and I felt like the second half wasn't as good as the first half. 9th place, I got Too Fast, Too Furious. It's a really big downgrade from the first one, and I thought the story was all over the place. Like, we only have two of our main characters here in this one, and so I feel like the story is just so weird, and not having Dom in this one really doesn't help it out a lot. But I felt like Brian was really cool in this one. That's like my major like positive about that one. 8th place, I got Fate of the Furious. I mean, it's an alright movie, and there's just a lot going on in this movie. Like, for a big chunk of this movie, you have so much going on, like, it's way too much. In Cypher, the villain in this movie, I thought that she wasn't the greatest, but in Dom's arc in this one is so weird and all over the place. But I gotta say, the last 30 minutes were pretty fun when they're on the ice, and I thought that was cool. And Jason Statham doing his little action scene with the baby in this one was really awesome. Next up, we got number 7, which is Fast 9. This one gets a lot of hate, but I don't care what anyone says. I had a lot of fun with this one. Sure, it's like really dumb at points, but I laughed a lot. There's a lot of cool comedy in this one, and just had a fun time watching it. It is pretty weird and dumb when they went to space. That just took me out a little bit. But John Cena was a really cool addition to the cast, and he made for a really cool villain. I liked him a lot in this one, and I thought like the brothers story was awesome in my opinion. I loved the way they did it. Next up, we got Fast X. This is the new one that just came out. No spoilers on this one, and honestly, this could have been a lot worse. The trailers sold it to be a lot worse, but I thought that was very silly. But Jason Momo and John Cena really helped lift this one stay afloat because they were like so cool. Their acting and action scenes were awesome in this one. Some of the set pieces and action scenes were really cool, and the cliffhanger was like Avengers Infinity War good. That cliffhanger was crazy. I loved it so much. And the post-credit scene was so cool. If you haven't seen this one, go see it. It's such a fun ride in the theater. Next up, we got Hobbs and Shaw. I'm a big Hobbs and Shaw lover. This one, it's really fun, like I said. I mean, it gets silly, but what makes this one really good is Jason Statham and The Rock working off of each other in comedic tone and action tones. I think it's better than most of the Fast and Furious movies, and it would have been higher if the third act wasn't so bland and so long, but the first two acts were hilarious and moved right along. I think that this one's just, it gets so long that the third act just lets it down so much. And Idris Elba is actually really cool in this one as a black Superman. That was so cool. I loved him as the villain in this one. Next up, we have Fast 6. This is probably the funniest one. It overtook Hobbs and Shaw for me because this one is a little bit more funny than Hobbs and Shaw. And there's so many cool character moments in this one. But the plot and villain just didn't sell me on this one. Like, there's not a lot to remember except the comedic tone. And the action's okay, but as I said, the villain's just not great. Next up, number 3, we got the original, The Fast and Furious. I haven't seen this movie except this year getting ready for Fast X. This was the first time I watched it, and it was like so cool watching it because I didn't know that it actually started out like this grounded, like all up in racing. I thought that was cool, and it was my first watch, as I said. And some of the others, I gotta say, this was fun. It wasn't as silly as the others, which I appreciated. And I enjoyed, like, all the story points a lot in this one. I feel like that there's a lot of rewatchability on this one. And I love Brian's character. I love how he was, like, the main protagonist of this story. Second place, I got Furious 7. I feel like this is the most emotional Fast and Furious movie for obvious reasons. Of course, Paul Walker passed away, so it's very emotional by the end. And I love the villain of this movie. I thought he was really cool. But as I said, it's long. All these movies are too long. Like, keep them to like 1:45 to 2 hours like the first couple. Those were good. But this one's just still too long. The action in it is like really cool though. But first place, I got Fast 5. I feel like this one is the most fun, and it has the most believable action scenes. Like, you're going like actually believable here, and it's not as silly. And you have the whole cast here. The whole cast came back for this one, so it made it even better. And there's so many enjoyable moments in this one. This one's also like the original. It's very rewatchable. It's very enjoyable. The whole cast just has a lot of charisma. There's a lot of cool moments in this one. A lot of funny moments. Not as funny as some of the others, but it's still pretty funny. So I got to say Fast 5 is my favorite Fast and Furious movie. That's my Fast and Furious movies ranked. Let me know your ranking down below in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.